Has a mechanic ever quoted you a $2,500 repair because you missed a simple $30 drain and flush? This is what happens when you rely too heavily on your dealership. And if they tell these little fixes to every driver, they would lose millions. This is why I'm here. In this video, I'll share a simple routine that can keep your Toyota shifting smoothly for years. No fancy tools, no fishy upsells, and stick around, because by the end, I'll give you 3 bonus low-cost rituals that you can't afford to miss. Let's get straight to the $30 secret. So, what's this big money-saving secret? It's as simple as a transmission fluid drain and fill. Not a flush, not some fancy $300 service your shop tries to upsell. Just draining out 3 to 4 quarts of old, dirty fluid and replacing it with fresh ATF. Sounds almost too easy, right? That's exactly why most drivers ignore it. But it keeps all those gears, clutches, and valves moving smoothly without grinding each other down. A simple $30 drain and fill keeps everything cool, reduces wear, and extends the life of one of the most expensive parts of your Toyota. Skip it, and even the most reliable transmission won't stand a chance. Now, what happens if you don't change transmission fluid? Neglecting your ATF isn't just skipping a service, it sets off a chain reaction inside your Toyota's transmission. First, the fluid loses its ability to lubricate. That's when you'll notice slipping gears, delayed or jerky shifts, and sometimes a hard clunk when shifting into drive. Next comes heat. Without fresh fluid to carry it away, your transmission runs hotter than it should. Heat is the #1 killer of automatic transmissions. On a Toyota Camry, for example, running overheated fluid can cut transmission life in half. As the fluid breaks down, it starts to burn, leaving you with that nasty burnt toast smell. At this point, it's not just fluid damage anymore. The fine metal shavings and debris circulating in old ATF clog up the solenoids, the electronic valves that control gear shifts. Replacing just one solenoid? That's $600 or more. Ignore it longer, and you'll face torque converter lockup problems, often $800 to fix. Keep driving past that, and the transmission itself is toast. A full rebuild or replacement on a Toyota Corolla, Tacoma, or Highlander, you're looking at $2,500 to $5,000. And here's the scary part. Your dashboard won't always warn you. There's usually no check engine light until it's too late. Problems creep up slowly until the day you put it in gear and the car just won't move. Actually, transmission fluid isn't just oil. It's hydraulic fluid, coolant, and lubricant all in one. Over time, it breaks down from heat, friction, and contamination. Once that happens, it can't maintain pressure, clutches slip, and friction material spreads everywhere. That's when the snowball of failure begins. Fresh fluid keeps the system cool, maintains pressure, and prevents wear on the most expensive part of your car outside the engine. But why don't mechanics recommend it enough? Let's be real, most mechanics won't push a drain and fill because it doesn't make them money. Transmission shops make their living off big repairs. If your Toyota's transmission fails, that's a $3,000 to $5,000 payday for them. But if you spend $30 on fluid and do a quick service at home, that's a profit they never see. Even at regular repair shops, you'll notice they don't list drain and fill on their menu boards. Instead, they offer transmission flushes, those $250 to $300 services that blast out all the fluid at once. Sounds good, but Toyota engineers specifically warn against flushing older transmissions because it can stir up debris and actually cause more harm. Now, to be fair, some honest shops will recommend a drain and fill, but here's the catch. They'll usually charge $120 to $180 for it. That's 4 to 6 times the cost of doing it yourself. So think about it. With basic tools and 1 hour of your time, you can do the exact same job Toyota recommends. Keep the cash in your pocket and protect your car from a repair that could wipe out your savings. Which fluid works and which are junk? Not all transmission fluids are created equal. In fact, using the wrong fluid in your Toyota can be just as bad as never changing it at all. The wrong formula can cause poor lubrication, overheating, and even complete failure of your transmission. So what should you use? Always stick with the fluid your car was designed for. If you own a Toyota or Lexus, that means Toyota WSATF. This is the factory-approved fluid that's specially blended for the tight tolerances in Toyota's 6, 8, and even 10-speed transmissions. Honda uses DW1, Ford has Mercon LV, and GM relies on Dexron VI. Each is different because each transmission design has unique friction requirements. What you should avoid at all costs are those so-called universal fluids from bargain brands. They claim to work for everything, but the truth is, they're too generic. Modern transmissions are more complex than ever, and a fluid that's close enough can shorten their lifespan in a big way. So if you drive a Toyota, keep it simple. Stick with WSATF. Buy from a trusted source, and you'll know your transmission is getting the exact protection it was engineered for. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. How to do a safe DIY drain and fill. Doing a transmission drain and filling your Toyota sounds intimidating, but it's actually one of the easiest maintenance jobs you can do at home. Here's the safe and proven method. Warm up the car for about 10 minutes. This thins the old fluid so it drains more completely. Locate the transmission drain plug. On most Toyotas, Camry, Corolla, Highlander, Tacoma, it's right on the transmission pan. Remove the plug and let about 3 to 4 quarts of fluid drain into a clean pan. Measure what came out. This is key. You only want to replace the exact same amount. Refill with fresh Toyota WSATF. Use a small funnel and take your time to avoid spills. Start the engine and cycle through all the gears. This makes sure the new fluid circulates through the valves and clutches. Check the level. Some Toyotas have a dipstick. Others use a check plug on the side of the transmission. Always follow your owner's manual here. That's it. No fancy tools, no expensive equipment, just fresh fluid in, old fluid out. Do this every 60,000 miles, and for hybrids, perform this 80,000 miles and you're set. The cost? About $30 to $50 in fluid. The time? Around 20 minutes once you get the hang of it. The savings? Thousands of dollars and years of extra life from your transmission. Now, let's talk about the method you'll see at dealerships. The pressurized fluid exchange machine. This system pushes out almost every drop of old transmission fluid and replaces it with fresh. On paper, it sounds great. You walk out with 100% new fluid. But here's the catch. The cost is usually $200 to $300, and it's not always safe. If your Toyota's transmission already has wear or early problems, a full flush can actually backfire. Why? Because all that pressure stirs up the old debris and clutch material that's settled in the transmission. Instead of helping, it can clog the solenoids or valve body and make shifting worse. Toyota mechanics see this all the time with higher mileage cars. Drivers pay for a flush and then end up with bigger problems a few months later. That's why the safer approach, especially for DIY drivers, is the drain and fill method done multiple times over a few weeks or oil change intervals. Each time, you replace 3 to 4 quarts with fresh WSATF, gradually diluting the old fluid until the system is nearly clean. It's cheaper, safer, and much easier on the transmission. Many transmissions have a serviceable filter inside the pan. Neglecting it is like changing engine oil without swapping the filter. If your car allows, replace the filter every 60,000 to 80,000 miles. Cost: $20 to $40. Skip it, and debris clogs the valve body, leading to $1,000 plus repairs. As we all know, heat kills transmissions. For trucks, SUVs, or cars driven in hot states like Texas or Arizona, a $70 aftermarket transmission cooler can cut temps by 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That alone can double transmission life. It's cheap insurance for anyone who tows or drives in stop-and-go traffic. And if you neglect all of this, here is what it costs. Solenoid pack, $600 to $1,200. Torque oil converter, $800 to $1,500. Valve body, $900 to $1,400. Full rebuild, $2,500 to $5,000. Meanwhile, a $30 bottle of fluid once every few years prevents most of it. Fresh fluid isn't just about saving money. You'll feel smoother shifts, quicker response, and less hesitation. It makes your car feel younger, more reliable, and more enjoyable to drive. Another thing you might be curious about is that many OEMs call their ATF lifetime fluid, but the reality is that means lifetime of the warranty, not the car. In the real world, heat and stop-and-go driving break it down. That's why even Toyota and Honda Tech bulletins quietly recommend changes at 60,000 miles for severe use. How does it help mileage vehicles? If your car has over 100,000 miles, it's not too late. Multiple drain and fills can restore smoother shifting, reduce slipping, and give you years of extra life. Even older vehicles see reduced noise, better highway cruising, and less overheating. Now you would see the Toyota forums are full of testimonials. Honda Accord shifting like new after 3 drain and fills. Toyota Camry is gaining 2 miles per gallon after fresh WSATF. Ford F-150 transmission temps dropping 20 degrees Fahrenheit after fluid change. These aren't lab tests, they're real drivers saving real money. As promised, here is the bonus tip you can combine with other low-cost rituals. $10 dielectric grease on battery terminals, $25 brake fluid flush, $20 PCV valve replacement. Together, these add up to a car that runs longer and costs far less. How to track transmission health. After each change, want proof that your drain and fill worked? Track it. Pay attention to how smooth the shifts feel. Check the transmission temperature with an OBD2 scanner and look at the color and smell of the fluid. Logging these after each change is almost addictive. You'll notice the improvements right away. What not to do. There are also a few mistakes you need to avoid. Never flush a high-mileage transmission that already shows problems. It can make things worse. Don't mix random ATF brands. Always stick with the right one for your Toyota. Overfilling is another big mistake because it causes the fluid to foam and burn. And don't fall for the lifetime fluid myth. One wrong move here can end up costing more than the fix itself. You should know. Shops love to sell a so-called transmission service for $250 or more. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the smart question to ask. Can you show me the before and after transmission temperature or pressure readings? 9 times out of 10, they'll give you a blank stare because they never measured a thing. It's like paying someone for a diet plan without ever stepping on a scale. You're left hoping it worked, but with no proof. When you do it yourself, you not only save money, but you also get the confidence of tracking results. Smooth shifts, cooler temps, cleaner fluid. You'll see it with your own eyes. And trust me, that feels way better than just a fancy receipt from the shop. If you enjoyed this one, then be sure to watch this video next where I'm explaining how you should maintain your Toyota to make it surpass 300,000 miles or more.